Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be diving into a fantastic breakdown from the Life Beyond the Covers blog, focusing on Matt Haig's incredibly moving work, The Comfort Book. There is so much good stuff here, so let's just jump right in.
So, if you're not already familiar with our source today, Life Beyond the Covers is a really brilliant, knowledge-driven blog.
What makes it great is that it doesn't just hand you basic book summaries. It actually digs deep into human behavior and personal growth, meaning you get real, actionable ways to apply these ideas directly to your own life.
And this specific post we're exploring today, it's been massively popular and widely shared by readers. And honestly, it's easy to see why. It is just packed with incredibly valuable life lessons. Okay, so let's talk about the book itself. Matt Haig's The Comfort Book isn't your typical read it front to back kind of narrative. It's actually a completely non-linear collection of short chapters. It's designed to give you a moment to pause, to just take a breath, especially on those heavy, overwhelming days.
Let's look at the very first chapter, which is all about remembering our original innate worth. Haig reminds us of something so simple yet so profound. Think about it. When you were a baby, you were loved simply because you existed. Your worth wasn't conditional. And that hasn't changed. Even when you feel broken, you are always absolutely enough. Moving into chapter 2, he asks a really bold question. Do we always need to be improving ourselves? Haig argues that the actual goal is self-acceptance, not self-alteration. You know, you aren't some unfinished DIY project that needs fixing. You're human. You don't need to prove anything to anyone just to earn the right to rest. Then, in chapter 3, he shares this beautiful childhood memory. He was lost in a forest, and his dad gave him a piece of advice. Just keep walking in a straight line. And honestly, life often feels exactly like that dark, confusing forest, doesn't it?
The big takeaway here is that your speed literally doesn't matter. It's all about steadiness. Whenever you feel lost, just pick a direction and keep putting one foot in front of the other. Clarity usually only comes after you start moving. Chapter 4 is essentially a permission slip to just be human. It's okay to feel totally lost. It's okay to not be okay. This chapter acts as a safe haven for anyone who feels like they're hiding their struggles from the rest of the world.
And in chapter 5, it's all about reclaiming your power. Look, we can't control every situation, right? But we can choose our perspective. And to be clear, this isn't about toxic positivity. It's about having the agency to choose which stories we allow to take root in our own minds.
Now, the first main section of the book, Being Human, is just filled to the brim with these gentle, grounding truths.
It teaches us that feeling pain is not a failure, and hitting rock bottom, that's not the end of the line. It's actually a solid foundation to rebuild on. Sometimes, simply surviving is a massive achievement in and of itself. In the second part, Haig uses this great metaphor of life as a flowing river. Just like nothing in a river stays perfectly still, our emotions and our bad days are completely temporary. We have to stop fighting the current and learn how to just float with it. Part 3 shifts gears a bit to explore the comfort we can find in everyday, small things. We're talking about the very first bite of a great pizza, holding a warm cup of tea, or throwing on your favorite playlist. Comfort doesn't always come from some huge, life-altering revelation. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight in the ordinary things around us. He also dives into some really practical boundaries here. For instance, realizing that saying no is actually a profound form of self-respect, or understanding that a closed road isn't a failure, it's just new data. And above all, learning that forgiving yourself is the absolute greatest gift you can give. In the fourth and final part, Haig explains how stories and words can literally act as lifelines during our darkest moments. This entire section feels like a reassuring hand on your shoulder, reminding you that you are not alone in this world.
So, what does this all mean for us as a final reflection?
Well, the Comfort Book is absolutely not something you just read once and toss on a shelf. It's meant to be a true companion for those sleepless nights and incredibly heavy days. It's unpredictable, sure, but it is so deeply, fully hopeful. Before we wrap up, let's take a quick second to acknowledge Prafulla Sharma, the author behind this fantastic blog summary. Prafulla is a dedicated lifelong learner who clearly values the art of storytelling. He writes extensively on some really fascinating intersections, like AI, psychology, and leadership. And his approach is always incredibly practical and empathetic.
It really inspires you to think critically and, more importantly, to actually make positive changes in your life. As you can see from the blog's archive, Prafula has been consistently sharing these high-value insights for years. So, taking inspiration from today's breakdown, what is one small act of kindness you can show yourself today? Something to really chew on, right? Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.